Hi folks, welcome to PT.TalkSports. Let's talk boxing today. Jermaine Franklin gets knocked out by Moses Itauma in the 5th round in Manchester on Saturday night. 5th round TKO. I want to do this slightly different, not just talk about the fight per se. There's been a lot of fight reviews on YouTube already, so I'm a bit late to the party. But I want to do more than just talk about the fight. I want to talk about Moses Itauma and some certain aspects about this guy. Let's start by saying, without a shadow of a doubt, for those that are coming late to the party, Itauma in his 14th fight, without a shadow of a doubt, is a generational talent. We talk about generational talent in football. In boxing terms, this is a generational talent, no doubt. I know some people have been like everything that's new and shiny and getting good promotion. Some people have already been saying that this guy is, a manufactured hype job. They said the same thing about Anthony Joshua, but that's a discussion for another day. Yeah, and I'm pleased. Yes, he's British, but we know he's of Nigerian descent. He has a Nigerian father, so we're claiming him. The Nigers are claiming Moses Itauma, and there's a few African boxers or African descent boxers that are doing amazing things out there. Again, that's for another video. Let's talk about Itauma, generational talent. I was really looking forward to this Jermaine Franklin fight. This was going to be the test. He knocked out what's his name, Dillian Whyte, in 1 round or 2 rounds, 1 round in his last fight. And yeah, everyone expected Dillian Whyte to give him rounds. Dillian Whyte is a credible heavyweight boxer, but we know he's absolutely shot to bits now. And I don't like saying that about boxers. Some people are saying that about AJ, not compared to Dillian Whyte. So I wasn't really surprised about Itauma's early KO of Dillian Whyte in his last fight. In this fight against Jermaine Franklin, by the way, Jermaine Franklin went 12 rounds with Dillian Whyte in a fight where Jermaine Franklin arguably won, but Dillian Whyte got the nod on a split decision. And he lost to AJ again, 12 rounds, unanimous decision. But in this fight, my man Moses Itauma came out all guns blazing. This kid is absolutely special. Let no one deceive you. I know some of the people watching, we're all casuals. I consider myself an educated boxing casual. Yes, I love boxing. Yes, I watch it. Yes, I study it a bit. But I'm a casual at the end of the day. Never laced up gloves in the professional ring. Never had an amateur bout. Just done a bit of shadow boxing and sparring and gym workouts. So I'm a casual, so to speak. But this kid, I've been watching boxing for 20 plus years now. 25 years. I've not seen anything like this in the heavyweight division. Speed, foot speed and hand speed especially. Like in this fight, and most of his fights, but especially in this fight, he came out with something to prove, and he said it in the press conference after. But in this fight, in the 1st and 2nd round, I thought I was watching the fight on YouTube, where you can move the speed of the video. I often watch a lot of videos on YouTube on 1.2. I thought I was watching the fight on 1.2 speed because it was just quick. Jermaine Franklin, yeah, he's a bit ploddy, but he's not slow. His hand speed is actually above average for a heavyweight. Jermaine Franklin, Moses Itauma was on another level completely. By the way, for those that don't know, he's a southpaw, so that means his most powerful hand should be his left hand, his backhand. The front hand is his right hand because he's a southpaw. The front hand is his right hand, that's what he jabs with, and the backhand should be the most powerful. But he's slightly different. He's a bit like me. I'm left-handed, I write with my left hand. My motor skills are most developed with my left hand. But actually, even though I'm left-handed, my most powerful hand, punching hand, is my right hand. And that's how Moses Itauma is. He's a right-hand dominant southpaw. So what that means is, For most boxers, their jab, especially if you're southpaw, your jab is, your least powerful punch, but it's just, a rangefinder and is a tool. But because his right hand is his most powerful hand, even though he's left-handed, his jab is a stupendous weapon. And then he was also, jabbing and then, hooking off the jab with his right hand. Nightmare. He knocked down Jermaine Franklin in the 3rd round. He came out all guns blazing. Jermaine Franklin was going to be the test because Jermaine Franklin went 12 rounds. He's never been knocked down, never been knocked out. Obviously, if you've never been knocked down, then you've never been knocked out. In his professional career of over 20 plus fights, Jermaine Franklin has never been knocked down, not even by AJ. And we're going to talk about that, AJ. That's quite significant. I know some people are, just sniffing their noses. Oh yeah, well, he didn't get knocked down by AJ, and so what? AJ is a hellacious puncher, still is, even at this stage of his career. And he was not really close to knocking down Franklin. So this was going to be the test for us. And that's why I'm saying after this fight, it's certified. This boy is a generational talent. Is he going to be a generational boxer? That remains to be seen. He has to prove it with his body of work. But for so far, he has traits that no other heavyweight in the last ever has. Ever. And I'm not joking about that. The closest person currently is probably Usyk. But Usyk doesn't even compare. Alexander Usyk is a 200-pound, 210-pound man at best. So for the Brits that are watching, 100-kilo guy. That's who Usyk is. This boy, natural weight is in the 230s, 240s, and he's only going to get bigger because he's only 21. That's a baby for a heavyweight. So yeah, I'm raving about him because he's special. My favorite heavyweight boxer of this modern generation will always be AJ. AJ is my guy, no doubt. But Itauma is absolutely special. More natural talent, started when he was 9. So let me tell you what that does. This guy moves like a middleweight. You know what? I'm spraying the bullets all around. Let's break down the fight a little bit. First round, Moses Itauma comes out, peppering the jabs, already running through. This was no feeling out round. He was trying to take his head off from the get-go, but he was doing it while defensively responsible. His head movement, people say Moses Itauma doesn't have head movement. His head movement was on point in this fight. Head movement was on point. Jab was like a piston. And yeah, he was just lighting him up with combinations. His feints, the feint. And the thing about Moses Itauma is because he's so powerful, because he's so accurate, because he's so quick, he's so fast, ridiculously fast, you're going to bite with the feints. Any boxer is going to bite with the feints because he hits you so quickly that anytime he feints, you're already getting defensively ready, you're biting with a feint. So Jermaine Franklin was biting with a feint every time, and it was just stressful for Franklin. But after the first round, Itauma threw everything at the kitchen sink at Jermaine Franklin, and Jermaine Franklin did well to make it past the first round, made it past the second round, third round with, I think it was a right, again, with I think it was an overhand right, a southpaw throwing an overhand right over the top, and Jermaine Franklin went down. Not too much of a heavy knockdown, but he went down cleanly. He made it up. Jermaine Franklin is a hard man. The guy's got a chin. Respect to him. So, third round, fourth round, Moses Itauma still went for it, but the pace slowed down. Fifth round, it seemed like Moses Itauma actually now slowed down, wanted to take his time. You could have thought maybe this guy is tired, but I think he saw something tactically, and the knockout was absolutely devastating. Jermaine Franklin does this thing where when he wants to clinch, even though he's defensively responsible, he kind of leans forward, he kind of falls on you. Obviously, when you want to clinch with another boxer, you're going to lean forward. And Itauma just stepped back and just unscrewed a beautiful uppercut, and that was all she wrote. And yeah, basically Itauma froze. Jermaine Franklin froze after the uppercut, froze, and just went down like a tree that was being felled. Went down face down, devastating knockdown, knockout, because the ref called it off. Yes, Franklin's corner were angry, but that was the right decision. It was devastating. It's going to be in the highlights for a long time to come. So yeah, you can tell by how excited I am. I'm very high on Itauma. I've always been high on him since when he made his professional debut, but I'm announcing it to the world, what we've obviously seen with our eyes. This guy is undeniable, and if he doesn't, definitely he's going to win a version of of a world title. I expect him to maybe be undisputed. Now, let me say something about the heavyweight division. You guys need to put some respect on these heavyweight boxers. There is no, I'm telling you now, any boxer, any heavyweight boxer that fights for more than 10 years, and every professional boxer will want a career of over 10 years to say you've had a successful career. Any heavyweight boxer that fights at the top level, at the kind of level of championship level for more than 10 years is going to get a loss on their record, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. We don't do, in the heavyweight division, I love the heavyweight division, we don't do undefeated boxers. You're going to lose. So if you have a boxer like AJ that has, is a two-time heavyweight champion, he's unified the belt, and people are still making a mockery of his career like this guy is not one of the greats of his era, you're a joker. The same thing with Fury, the same thing with Wilder, and most of you know, if you know me, you know I don't have time for Wilder's skills. He's not my kind of boxer, but you still have to put respect on that guy's name. And Itauma is going to be one of those, or probably heads and shoulders above them. If everything is correct in here mentally, and there's every sign that mentally Itauma is spot on, if mentally and some variables that we can't see are good, this guy's got the skills to dominate this division for sure. Like, no one is built like he's been built. Moves like a middleweight, quick. I'm telling you, this guy is faster than some middleweights in terms of hand speed. His foot speed is not bad, even though he still does he crosses his feet, which is a no-no in boxing. But then people that as athletic as him can break those rules. Someone like Roy Jones, he broke so many rules, Roy Jones, but he was a spectacular athlete and spectacular boxer. So yeah, Itauma, let's just follow the career and let's be entertained by the boy. He's going to dominate the heavyweight division. Let me see. I'm doing this off the cuff, even though I've written some notes. So let me see, make sure I'm not missing anything. Stamina check. This is the first time he's gone, more than 3 rounds in any fight as a professional. This was his 14th fight. Stamina, I think that's a checkbox. He ticked many boxes today, on the weekend. His chin hasn't really still been tested. Franklin is not the biggest of punchers, even though he's a heavyweight puncher, and his punches are not ticklish, so he's still gonna hit you. Franklin hit him, especially to the body, a couple of times, maybe a couple of times to the head, but nothing's really serious. So his chin has still not been tested. But from what we've seen, the guy has got, at least we know he's got an average chin. He might have a spectacular chin. That remains to be seen when he gets tested. So he ticks some boxes. Some people, after the first round, I saw when he went to the corner, Moses Itauma was breathing heavy. This video is getting long now. He was breathing quite heavily. And I was thinking, ooh, do we have a problem here? But when you look at the punch stats, when you look at the venom with which Itauma was throwing his punches, no surprise that he was breathing heavy. So that doesn't signal a stamina issue. That just signals he was working really hard. The first round, second round, he was trying to take his head off. He was trying to do to Franklin what no one has ever done to him. In the post-fight press conference, and this is something Itauma has to watch out for. If you will ever see this video, I probably won't, because obviously not many people will. In the post-fight press conference, Itauma said that he wanted to knock out Franklin in the first, in the early rounds, in the first or second rounds. That's why he came out, you know, so aggressive and so violent. He said because he wanted to win some people money. So I'm guessing maybe his buddies, his friends, you know, they had placed a bet for an early stoppage and he was trying to fulfill that. Itauma, blood, son, don't do it, don't do it. This boxing, you don't play boxing, and he knows that. Really don't focus on the outside noise. Don't let those kind of things affect you. You can't be fighting to try to, you know, win your friend some money. Dude, focus on your career, because that could have gone wrong. Like, these are heavyweights. No matter how fit you are, no matter how great your stamina is, if you blow a gasket against someone like Jermaine Franklin, who has a good chin and can stay in there, and you blow a gasket and you get tired, you become a sitting duck. So don't do it. Just pace yourself. Just fight the right fight. Of course, get aggressive for yourself, not because you're trying to win someone some money with an early stoppage. Gauge the fight. You know those guys that will go out early. Once you tested him a few times on the chin, he was hitting him flush in the first round, and the guy didn't go down. You should know that this guy is going to go some rounds. And yeah, let me stop it there. We're very high on Moses Itauma here. I'm going to do some other videos. We're going to compare Moses Itauma's career so far to Anthony Joshua's, you know, their first 15 to 20 fights. Let's see the trajectory of their careers. Definitely, I see this guy winning a world title in the next 2 to 3 fights. It's just a matter of whether his promoters get him the fight. By the way, let me start even previewing my next video. AJ won the world title against Charles Martin. Yeah, we know he's not the greatest. Charles Martin in his 16th fight. Moses Itauma has just had his 14th fight. Let's see who he gets next. There's some amazing heavyweight fights in the next few weeks. This is heavyweight season, and I'm here for it. I'm loving it. So yeah, up Moses Itauma, up our Niger boy. Let's go. Take care. Please subscribe to my channel. If you like football, if you like boxing, that's what I talk about. I'm a United fan. Yeah, and I'm doing this from the continent of Africa. So please subscribe, like this video if you like what I've said. Make a comment. Let's know what do you think about Moses Itauma? Do you think he's a hype job? Do you think he's a manufactured boxer? Do you think the same about AJ? Let me know in the comment section. God bless. So I made a comment in my previous video. Let me just quickly add this, and I'm going to put this as a short. I made a comment, and it seems outlandish. I can already hear people coming at me. I said no heavyweight that has a career spanning over 10 years or over, that has maybe 25 plus fights at the top level. So I'm talking championship level heavyweight. No heavyweight that has that kind of career is going to go undefeated. And I know some people are saying, there's a certain guy called Rocky Marciano that went undefeated. Well, there's context to that. And some people are saying, well, Usyk, he's still a current heavyweight. He can retire tomorrow and he'll retire undefeated. Again, there's context to it. Look, God didn't make and design human beings to withstand consistent blows from over 100 kilo men or 200 pounds plus men over a long period of time. You are going to lose a fight. It's the greatest, all the greatest lost. Larry Holmes, Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, you name it, Lennox Lewis, one of my favorites, Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield, even though he was a cruiserweight for part of his career. But yeah, so those are the caveats. Rocky Marciano, he had 49 fights, right? Go look at the records. Only maybe 6 or 7 of the fighters he fought were over 200 pounds. Most of them were less than 90 kilos. Most of them were 180 pounds, 185 pounds. That's super middleweights. That's cruiserweights. So most of the guys Rocky Marciano fought were less than the heavyweight limit. They were cruiserweights or less. Some of them were super middleweight. Some of them were light heavyweights or super middleweights, whichever way you wanna call it. So yeah, so that's that. And Rocky Marciano's heavyweight career was less than 10 years. It was about 8 years. So there's a caveat to that. If he was fighting the real big guys that we have in this day and age, he would have lost. Trust me. Usyk, on the other hand, most of his career he's been a career cruiserweight. He's fought 8 times as a heavyweight, 8 times. And if he continues, especially now that he's in his mid-30s, he will lose, no matter how spectacular he is. In fact, in a couple of those fights, check that second AJ fight, he was troubled in that. And yeah, so he's beaten AJ twice, beaten Tyson Fury twice, beaten Daniel Dubois twice, the Brit killer, but he's only fought 5 heavyweights. So yeah, I think my point still stands. No heavyweight, there's no heavyweight. None of the greats went undefeated. Take care. Yes, take care.